Sweet potatoes are a classic comfort food, beloved for their natural sweetness and velvety texture. But what if we told you that you could take them to a whole new level, one that perfectly balances tart cranberries, crisp apples, and a hint of warm spice, all nestled inside a twice-baked sweet potato shell? Today, we're about to reimagine your favorite fall side dish with a recipe for cranberry apple twice-baked sweet potatoes like you've never had before. Imagine the scene. The kitchen is filled with the inviting aroma of roasting sweet potatoes, their skins crisping in the oven as they caramelize. Meanwhile, fresh cranberries burst and simmer on the stovetop, their tartness mellowing as they mingle with cinnamon and orange zest. Diced apples add a delicate crunch and a touch of tart sweetness, while a sprinkle of brown sugar and chopped pecans promise a nutty, buttery finish. This isn't just another sweet potato casserole or a simple baked potato. It's a celebration of seasonal flavors, textures, and colors, crafted to delight your senses and impress your guests. Let's begin with the foundation, the sweet potatoes themselves. Choose medium-sized, evenly shaped sweet potatoes for the best results, as they will bake evenly and stand up nicely to stuffing. Give them a good scrub, then prick them with a fork a few times to allow steam to escape during baking. Place them directly on the oven rack or on a baking sheet and roast at 400 degrees Fahrenheit until they're fork tender and the skins are slightly crisp, about 45 to 60 minutes, depending on their size. As they bake, the natural sugars in the sweet potatoes intensify, setting the stage for a deeply flavorful base. While the sweet potatoes roast, it's time to prepare the cranberry apple filling. Start by melting a tablespoon or two of butter in a skillet over medium heat. Add diced apples. Choose a variety that holds up well to cooking, like Honeycrisp or Granny Smith, to provide a nice contrast in texture. Sauté the apples for a few minutes until they begin to soften, but retain a bit of their crunch. Then, stir in a generous handful of fresh or frozen cranberries. As the cranberries heat up, they'll start to pop and release their vibrant juices, creating a beautiful magenta hue. To balance the tartness, sprinkle in a touch of brown sugar, just enough to coax out the natural sweetness of the fruit without overpowering it. Add a pinch of cinnamon and a whisper of nutmeg for warmth, and a little orange zest to brighten everything up. Let the mixture simmer for a few minutes until the cranberries have softened and the apples are tender but not mushy. The result is a filling that's sweet, tart, and aromatic, with a hint of citrus and spice. When the sweet potatoes are cool enough to handle, carefully slice them in half lengthwise. Using a spoon, gently scoop out the flesh, leaving a thin border intact to support the skin. Place the scooped-out sweet potato flesh in a large bowl and mash it until smooth. This is where the magic happens. Fold the cranberry apple mixture into the mashed sweet potatoes, allowing the flavors to meld. If you like, you can add a splash of maple syrup for extra richness, or a dollop of Greek yogurt or cream cheese for creaminess. For added texture and a touch of luxury, stir in a handful of chopped toasted pecans or walnuts. The nuts provide a lovely crunch that contrasts beautifully with the creamy filling and the tender fruit. Taste the filling and adjust the seasoning as needed. A little more cinnamon, a dash of salt, or an extra sprinkle of sugar, depending on your preference. Now, it's time for the second bake. Carefully spoon the filling back into the sweet potato shells, mounding it slightly. For an extra special touch, top each half with a few more cranberries, a scattering of apple dice, and a sprinkle of brown sugar or chopped nuts. Arrange the stuffed potatoes on a baking sheet and return them to the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. This final bake allows the flavors to meld and the tops to caramelize, creating a golden, slightly crisp crust that gives way to a soft, luscious interior. As the sweet potatoes finish baking, their fragrance fills the kitchen, a heady mix of sweet, tart, spicy, and nutty notes that signal something truly special is about to be served. When they emerge from the oven, they're a feast for the eyes as much as for the palate. Vibrant orange sweet potato, studded with crimson cranberries and flecks of apple, crowned with glistening brown sugar and toasted nuts. But what really sets these cranberry apple twice-baked sweet potatoes apart is the interplay of flavors and textures in every bite. The creamy, earthy sweetness of the potato is perfectly balanced by the bright, tangy cranberries and the crisp, juicy apples. The warmth of cinnamon and orange zest infuses each mouthful with a comforting, autumnal glow, while the crunch of pecans adds an irresistible finishing touch. It's a dish that's both familiar and surprising, a twist on tradition that's sure to become a new favorite at your table. These sweet potatoes are wonderfully versatile too. Serve them as a standout side at your next holiday meal, or let them shine as a vegetarian main course alongside a crisp green salad. They pair beautifully with roasted turkey or chicken, glazed ham, or even as part of a brunch spread with eggs and greens. And the best part? You can prepare them in advance. Simply assemble the stuffed potatoes, cover, and refrigerate until you're ready to bake them off for the second time. For those who love to customize, there are endless ways to make this recipe your own. Swap out the pecans for walnuts or almonds, or omit the nuts altogether for a nut-free version. Add a handful of dried cranberries or cherries for extra sweetness, or a drizzle of honey for a floral note. Try using pears instead of apples for a different twist, or experiment with spices like ginger or allspice to suit your tastes. If you're looking to make this dish a little lighter, substitute Greek yogurt for some of the butter or cream cheese, or use coconut oil for a dairy-free version. For a vegan option, stick with plant-based butter and yogurt, and skip the eggs if your base recipe includes them. However you choose to adapt it, the core combination of sweet potatoes, cranberries, and apples is sure to delight. When it's finally time to serve, be prepared for rave reviews. As your guests take their first bite, they'll be greeted by a symphony of flavors: sweet, tart, crunchy, and creamy, all in perfect harmony. The vibrant colors and enticing aroma will draw everyone in, but it's the taste that will keep them coming back for more. This is comfort food redefined. Familiar, yet unexpected. Simple, yet sophisticated. So the next time you find yourself reaching for sweet potatoes, cranberries, and apples, remember that you don't have to settle for the same old recipes. With just a little extra effort and a few thoughtful touches, you can transform these humble ingredients into something truly extraordinary. Cranberry apple twice baked sweet potatoes, like you've never had before. It's a dish that celebrates the best of the season, bringing warmth, color, and joy to your table. Whether you're hosting a holiday feast, a cozy family dinner, or just treating yourself to something special, these twice-baked sweet potatoes are sure to impress. They're a reminder that even the most familiar ingredients can be elevated to new heights with a little creativity and a lot of love. So preheat your oven, gather your ingredients, and get ready to experience sweet potatoes in a whole new way. The vibrant flavors, enticing aromas, and beautiful presentation will make this dish a standout addition to any meal, and a new tradition for years to come.